And we're up to number 2. And number 2 is Everybody Gets Drunk, Chapter 4. There's a very good reason why I chose this song, this scene, and it's probably most of it has to do with the fact that The Poet of the Muse is such an unbearably awesome song. For those of you who have not heard the song, you can go to oldgodsofasgard.com and listen to it on their website. The Old Gods of Asgard, of course, do not exist. The real band is the Poets of the Fall that performed it, and they are awesome. They've been doing Remedy games since Max Payne 2, and it's great that they're... I was so happy to hear their music and new music in the game. But it's just a great scene, not only for the song itself, but also for the fact that the dialogue is just so hilarious. When you hear Alan say, I could write 10 books a year and they'd all be bestsellers. And it's like, no, you couldn't. He's like, you're right, I couldn't, but I could. It's a hilarious scene. It was a contender for number 1, actually. But the scene was just so funny. It was so well done. It was so well written. It was so well performed by the voice actors, and it's the number 2. So check it out.
Okay. We need to find Cynthia Weaver. We'll stay here for the night and head back to town as soon as it gets light.
Hey, Al. Lots of hours before dawn. Might as well get some rest. And by rest, I mean drunk.
Come on, Barry, this is... Yeah, what the hell?
Listen, Al, I'm sorry about Alice. No, seriously, because I know we don't get along, but we're gonna find her, right? And even though you're a crazy bastard, I'm gonna stick by you, no matter what, ever, Al. Sure, you're like a brother.
I'm a writer, goddammit.
Correct.
If I just wanted to, I could write 10 books a year. And they'd be the best books that year.
No, you couldn't.
That's right, I couldn't. But I could, because I'm a writer.
What? What do they put in this stuff? I feel like my brain is coming out of my nose. I'm gonna get the recipe off those coots and be a booze millionaire.
I just miss her, Barry. I just want her here with me.
I know, Al. I know. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna make it okay.
And we're number 1. And number 1, there was really no question that this was going to be number 1. And number 1 is the well-lit room scene in Chapter 5. There's tons and tons and tons of reasons why this was actually number 1. Particularly, it was because of the choice of ending it with War by Poets of the Fall. The one licensed track that they did, well, it's not the one, it's the one licensed track they used from Poets of the Fall. The rest of the Poets of the Fall songs that they did were all done under the pseudonym Old Gods of Asgard. But this is the one track that they got from their album, from their recent album, Twilight Theater. That also, it had such emotional, powerful ramifications at the very end of the scene. You had so many great moments, not just with Barry crying, or with Alan saying, no, I have to do this alone. And but it also establishes it's so beautifully done. The well-lit room was so beautiful. So the setting is fantastic, but also it's just, Alan has this, just this moment with himself where he's reading the manuscript page that was written by Thomas Zane, left for him. And he's like, this was meant for me. This was meant for me. This was meant for me to do. He wrote this into existence. He wrote me to do this? Was this all my destiny to do based upon what Thomas Zane had written, or was Zane just writing this for me, or did I bring this? It was just, and here is this weapon. I know what I have to do now. I know what I need to do, and I have the tool to do it. It's a great moment, and it's, as far as I'm concerned, the best scene, the best scene in the game, and that's why it's number one. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.
Take it, and I won't need to worry about the room anymore, because 6 and 33 and 118 need changing soon, and I don't want to climb up the ladder to change them because it's very late, and I'm tired. And if you take it, I won't have to do that anymore.
The page was autobiographical, a memory from my childhood. But I didn't write this. It was a page written by Thomas Zane. None of them were supposed to exist anymore.
Alan, 7 years old, would fight sleep to the bitter end. When he did sleep, he soon woke up, screaming, the nightmares fresh in his mind. One evening, his mother, sitting by his bed, offered him an old light switch. She called it the clicker, and flicking the switch would turn on a magical light that would drive the beast away. To imbue the talisman with all possible power, she added that it had been given to her by Alan's father. Alan never knew him, and anything of his took on mythical proportions in his mind. With the clicker firmly in his hand, Alan finally slept like a baby. Now, almost 30 years later, Alan thought of this as he stood on the rim of Cauldron Lake, the clicker in his hand. He took a deep breath and jumped.
My mind swirled. I'd given the clicker to Alice, yet it was here. Zane had written it into existence, in a story I had written. I can get to her now. I can finish this.